Hi everyone and welcome to a new episode of Dave's Podcast along with the new video, and I thank you guys so much for liking, subscribing, viewing, watching, and listening. I truly appreciate it. We are going to talk about Jade. Um, yes, so we are going to talk about a new group. We haven't talked about groups in a while. Um, and I will be making sure there are exclusive episodes on Patreon and Spotify, just so you know. But as far as with free content, let's get into this new episode here. Jade to the Max is the debut studio album by American R&B group Jade, released in 1992. I was not here yet. Okay. The album produced the hit singles I Wanna Love You, US number 16, Don't Walk Away, US number 4. Okay, so these are Hot 100 singles, okay? One Woman, US number 22. And Looking for Mr. Do Right, US number 69. So they have 4 different songs that were charting from this album. The highest charting one, of course, you guys know, Don't Walk Away. It also contains covers of 2 songs by the 1970s R&B trio, The Emotions, Don't Ask My Neighbor, and Blessed. The album peaked at number 56 on the US Billboard 200, number 19 on the top R&B hip-hop albums, and number 10 on the top heat seekers, and sold more than 1 million copies. So it was recorded between 1991 and 1992, mostly in California. It has it has the genres of, pretty much R&B, pop, new jack swing, hip hop, soul. Stevie Wonder was a writer on Don't Walk Away, and that's the first track. So we can actually talk about that now. So track 1 is Don't Walk Away. Track 2 is I Wanna Love You. Track 3 is I Want Your Baby. Track 4, That Boy. Track 5, Out With The Girls. Track 6, Hold Me Close. Track 7, One Woman. Track 8, Give Me What I'm Missing. Track 9, Looking for Mr. Do Right. Track 10, Don't Ask My Neighbors. Track 11, Blessed. And that's one thing as far as with back in the day. We didn't always have a lot of tracks on an album. Sometimes people came out with albums and they'd be literally 10 tracks, 11 like this one, or 12, maybe even 13. But if you had an album that was more than 15 tracks, they wanted more out there and they couldn't get it enough out. They wanted more out than what's being put out. Even with the release date, even with the release happening, that artist, you can just tell from just time and just seeing how they come out with deluxes later, where it's like there's certain songs that they kind of peak after as they tour and stuff, like, why wasn't this out? They're loving this, so it's just, it goes there. But as far as with ratings, it didn't do that bad. But as far as with charting, like I've told you guys, if you are charting in the top 40, you're being seen. They were more or less being seen by singles, more or less wise, which is not a bad thing. So, and then at the time that they released, November 17th, 1992, you kind of say to yourself, this is like going into 93, Janet's coming, Tony's coming, Mariah's coming, all these people are coming out of nowhere. You already had SWV this in the summer based on just when they came out too. A lot was going on in the 90s, let's just say that. But I will say that, for them to peak at number 56, it's not too bad. But as far as being in the top 40, there's like a hope where it can kind of grow and kind of have you rise going towards the top 10, based on promotion and everything else like that. From what it has shown in time. I'm not just saying these things like I'm in the business. I'm saying it where I'm researching and I'm seeing like, all right, well, if they're touring and if they're having, people go to different sectors of the world to buy their albums and to see them, obviously they're going to sell. So, I want to thank you guys again so much for listening and watching, and I'll be back with more.